So that example from Brothers Grimm is wonderful, but it feels as if you had a kind of freedom to let your imagination and your experience and whatever come together at the piano.
That happens when you work with Terry.
Yeah. But in other cases, presumably, you're actually working with severe limitations, and you have to somehow find an inspiration that makes something out of those limitations.
Well, in fact, as it turns out, that's absolutely the case, and limitations sometimes can be very empowering, because you have to find a solution to some kind of, almost like a mathematical problem. You need to come out with the one solution, or one of not very many solutions that there could be.
Yes.
To give you an example of that, on Pride and Prejudice we mentioned before, the very first piece I had to write in Pride and Prejudice was one of the pieces that Keira Knightley was supposed to play in a movie, and then later on another actress has to play in the movie. But in Keira's case, she never played the piano before, so I knew that I had to write something that would be simple enough for her to be able to learn, and the idea was that we would see her hands and then move up to her face, and so I thought about the simplest thing that you could do with almost like an equivalent of an late 18th century chopsticks, and using two fingers, and this is really what I thought about, which is just going like that with two fingers. And I thought maybe if I can expand a little bit on that idea, she'll be able to learn at least the beginning of a piece long enough for the camera to move up to her face, and then we can move on to something more complicated. This is what came out, and you can all play it with two fingers. Etc. And it was very interesting to have that starting point, because that movement then, being the very first one that I wrote, became the basis for the main theme in a movie, and it got embedded in the movie by default, because it had to be shot before I got to work to the rest of the score. So when I got the movie back in the first assembly, there was already, the ice was broken.
Right.
We had already something that we could build on.